Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, glory, and worship to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Chakwadash, the honors to the elders and the apostles that have word and do word, overseeing the tabernacle of David. Of course, starting from Prophet Abba Bivens on down to the elders and the apostles of a Great Millstone. Greetings and salutations to you, Akim, that are pushing the word in truth and sincerity, which are the 144K that have not, will not delay. This is Yaikwab out and under the command of Great Millstone Atlanta Church with a lesson of exhortation and edification through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This lesson will be concerning suffering and what we as the hopeful elect are to suffer for. As it is written, suffer for righteousness' sake. Suffer for righteousness. All right, so this is the definition of suffer. All right, and I'm going to skip around in this Webster definition. All right, so here we have the first definition. A, it says to submit to or be forced to endure. Example of that is suffer martyrdom. And we know martyrdom goes into basically being a witness, but also a later definition, which also is applied, is to lose your life for a cause in which you believe in. All right? And certain of us are going to have to lose our life for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great honor that comes with that. It's great honor that comes with losing your life for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's sake. And I speak through the spirit, not the flesh. You know, of course, we want to make it and live throughout this whole ordeal until the chariots beam us up. But at the end of the day, it's not about the longevity of our life. It's about the mission that we were sent to fulfill. All right? So I'm going to go down to intransitive verb. It says to endure death, pain, or distress. Number 2, it says to sustain loss or damage. Right? So in this truth, in this thing of ours, you're going to go through hardship, especially in the time that we're living in now. You know, our elders and our apostles have gone through so many things in order for us, as brothers, to receive this testimony in its fullness. They've had to undergo persecution. They've had to undergo imprisonment. They've had to undergo assassination. The great elder, Prophet Abba Bivens himself was assassinated. He laid his life down while he was teaching. Muslims came and assassinated him, man. All right, and he did it for who, for what, and what? The testimony of Yahweh Shai. And if it wasn't for Abba Bivens and his labors, who was the Elijah to come? You know, whether you can receive it or not, as it is written in the book of Malachi, behold, I send Elijah. And the prophecies mathematically equate when you go into the book of Revelations with the 3.5 years and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into that. Nevertheless, the point is, our very labors and our very positioning is based upon the suffering and the sacrifices that men before us have made. All right. And so likewise, if we entered into this work and into their labor, we're going to have to undergo similar circumstances, especially in the time period that we're living in right now. All right, with Jacob's trouble, Esau, Edom, the devil, so-called white man, the elites of this society, coming down and trying to exterminate us. All right, gird up your loins and prepare yourself. You know, because we are all going to be tried and we are all going to have to suffer. All right. But may it be for righteousness' sake. This is First Peter's chapter 3, verse 14. And it reads, it says, but and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror. Right. So we're not supposed to fear the enemy, which is predominantly Esau Edom, his devices, okay, being thrown into prison, being beheaded by the guillotine, tortured, losing our family. And it's easier said than done, but it's the mission that must be won, not our own lives to be extended in this temporal, degenerate society, man. We are at the grasp in the essence of ruling the earth. We are very, very close to complete power and dominion, man. Do not compromise. Now, speak to myself before I speak to anybody else, man. The hour of sheer glory is in our grasp, and only if we endure and suffer for righteousness' sake, all things shall be granted unto us. All things. Verse 15 says, but sanctify Yahweh by Shem Yahushua power in your hearts, which is your minds, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks of you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. With meekness dealing with humility, and fear of who? Fear of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right? Let me see. It's a precept. One moment. It's a precept that the Lord famously said. Let me see here. Let's see here. Here we go. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Esau Edom, he can't touch your soul, man. He cannot touch your soul. All right. It says, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. But the Lord can destroy your soul. The Lord can torment your soul, man. All right. When those missiles come and hit America, and these people who have compromised and have not made their lives a reasonable sacrifice for the Lord and took this time to exercise vanity and folly, when those missiles hit, their soul is going to be tormented in that fire, man. That's going to be an unbearable punishment, man. All right, that's not something we want to be a part of. All right, the Lord can give us the power to Esau Edom come in when the scripture says when the enemy should come in as a flood, the spirit of the Lord should lift up a standard against him, man. Esau Edom can try to put you to death, and the Lord gives you spiritual powers. The Lord transfigures you and does all sorts of marvelous things for you. The Lord sends his angels down to defend you. It's all sorts of animals that the Lord can provide for deliverance. The Lord can soothe you in the time that, even if you are put to death, we're going to be the first resurrected, man. And we are going to descend on these devils from the heavens when it's time to redeem the elect that still remain. All right? More precepts. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 7, verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, because the righteous, they undergo that straight gate, that essence of difficulty, and they abide in it. They keep the commandments in a dry place, man. They hold fast to the testimony when it's uncomfortable, when it's not befitting. All right. when it's can cost you your life, man. All right. That's why it says, I'm going to read that again. Verse 18 says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things in hope for wide. And that wide is the kingdom. That wide is everlasting glory, everlasting life. Shalom, peace. Peace. Abundance. The walls that stretch up into the heavens made of sapphire and floors and palaces made of gold of Ophir and tiger eye and so on and so forth. All the many precious metals of the universe, that some that we have not even comprehended yet. Some that we have not even fathomed to grasp yet. As is written, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have not told thee. There's planets that awaits us, brother, that await the righteous, those who suffer the straight things, and they shall enter into the wide. But it says, for they have done, it says, in hope for wide, for they have done wickedly, have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. So yeah, the wicked, they're gonna have to undergo Jacob's trouble. They're gonna have to undergo these things of persecution, these situations of persecution, extermination, so on and so forth. But they're not going to see the wide. They're not going to be able to receive the glory that the elect are going to receive, because they did not suffer for righteousness' sake. They suffered because they were wicked and evil. That's why they suffered, and that's going to be the difference. Wrap it up with Matthew's. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10. It says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when man shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. For so persecuted the prophets that were before you, man. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but they did say it will be worth it. It most definitely will be worth it. As it is written, seeing that this present time, is nothing in comparison to the glory that we shall receive. Lord willing, we are of that number, man. We've been laboring, Akim. We've been holding fast. Lord willing, we endure to the end, man. I speak for myself and you both, man. Lord willing, we endure to the end, man. Lord willing. So I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Shalom.